Want to learn how to get a business analyst job? What a business analyst job description is in the first place? Business analyst salary, business analyst interview questions, how to put together a business analyst resume, and overall how to become a business analyst? Congratulations. Business analyst jobs can be rewarding, and you found the right business analyst training series to answer all those things. I've been a top performing professional for 22 years, and I'm going to teach you all these business analyst skills that I learned through trial and error in a small fraction of that time. So what is a business analyst? Let's check out today's exciting topic to find out. So today we're going to talk about one of the primary functions of a business analyst, and that is requirements elicitation. So you hear elicit and you might think the adjective elicit, which could have a negative connotation. We mean elicit the verb, which means to gather or tease out requirements. And so this is the process of gathering and understanding the needs, expectations, and constraints of stakeholders with a particular system that you're helping them evaluate or a software project that you're helping them to evaluate. It involves various techniques and activities, and they're aimed at extracting, documenting, and validating the requirements that address this particular business problem. Effective requirements elicitation is crucial for ensuring that the system you are going to build meets the needs of the business and its users and stakeholders. So a little bit of vocabulary: users or end users, people who will use the software that you build. Stakeholders, maybe executives, people who are financially responsible for helping you build the right thing. So just a little vocabulary lesson there. So here's some key aspects about requirements elicitation. So today I'm going to walk you through the 10 top key aspects of requirements elicitation. Stay through all the way to the end. You might be surprised by the last one. First is stakeholder identification. So this is identifying and involving all the relevant stakeholders who have an interest in the system or software that you're building as part of this project. This could include end users, domain experts, so people more knowledgeable about the data versus the business process or vice versa, customers, managers, or other individuals or groups who are affected by this system. Step number 2 is interviews. So you want to interview all these people and learn all about why they care about the system and what effect it has on them and what value you can provide as part of the solution. So conducting one-on-one or group interviews with the stakeholders to gather this information about their needs is vital. You want to understand their preferences, so maybe your solution can go one way or another, and you want to know what the preferences are of this end user group and the stakeholders. You interview people to provide an opportunity to delve deeper into their specific needs and the topics that they deal with on a daily basis and gain insights into their perspective. The third key aspect of requirements elicitation is workshops. So workshops might be hands-on things where you're building something in front of the customer and they're giving you real-time feedback, or they're sharing their input data that they plan to give to you for the solution, and you're asking questions about why it's structured in that particular way. But organizing workshops or focus groups involves multiple stakeholders and encourages collaboration so that we can talk about all of their needs together at one time. It generates a collective understanding of the requirements, and they can foster creativity and uncover hidden requirements that people might not have thought of on their own. So if you've stuck with me this far through the video, I hope you're getting some great value and want to be notified every time I drop the next piece of training in this series. Go ahead and subscribe to How to Be a Business Analyst below and click that bell button for all notifications. Once you've done that, drop me a comment in the comments below letting me know that you subscribed, and I'll go ahead and try to answer all of those comments personally. Aspect number 4 in requirements elicitation is surveys and questionnaires. So whereas workshops are real-time collaboration, surveys and questionnaires are iterative. You give it to them, they finish it, they give it back to you, you analyze the results. And distributing questionnaires or surveys to a large number of these stakeholders to collect their opinions and preferences could be really valuable on a given project. They're useful for gathering qualitative data in addition to quantitative data. So if you've ever taken a survey at work about employee engagement or something like that before, you know what I mean. They don't necessarily ask things like, how many days out of the last month were you happy? They might ask, how happy are you at this organization from a scale of 1 to 5? So that's more of a qualitative type, pattern-based activity. Aspect number 5 of requirements elicitation is observations. So directly observing users and stakeholders and using the product as it is today, or using the perhaps lesser alternative of your solution that they're using today that you want to replace, can be also very valuable to your project as a business analyst. You can understand their current processes, any challenges they have, and any needs that arise from those challenges. Observations can provide valuable context to you and uncover requirements that stakeholders may not be able to articulate verbally, but may be teased out when you see them actually in action using their software. Aspect number 6 is prototyping. So what's prototyping? Prototyping is building an early version of your solution that may not be fully functional, but may be functional enough to address the customer's requirements and show them how, if we follow this path all the way through to completion, we'll get to the objective you're trying to achieve during this project. Prototypes allow stakeholders to visualize things and interact with them rather than talking about them just conceptually. So this is why we might get a more accurate and refined requirement from prototyping. Aspect number 7 of requirements elicitation is document analysis. So you review any existing documentation they have of their current processes and software products, such as user manuals, administrative manuals, business processes, technical specifications, and anything like that, so that you can learn not only what's just at top of their mind right now, but everything that's been documented about these existing processes throughout time, so you have a better opportunity to uncover potential bottlenecks or business problems that you may be able to design solutions around. Aspect number 8 of requirements elicitation is brainstorming. So brainstorming involves conducting brainstorming sessions with your stakeholders, whether they're internal or external, and generating ideas, exploring possibilities, and uncovering potential requirements. You want to be careful with brainstorming to not mention things you know your solution cannot do, or at least cannot do within the bounds of the time and financial constraints of your project. This is very important for a business analyst. Pro tip, don't promise the moon. Sometimes even if you know your solution can do it, because let's say a project that you're proposing would take 6 months, but you only have 3 months in the statement of work, the customer will only be disappointed later when they know that your product can actually solve their problem, but they don't have the budget to do it. So sometimes discretion is the better part of valor as a business analyst. Hey, so one more quick tip for you. If you're thinking, hey, I have a great career too where I can share all these insights on the internet, how do I do that? I have a couple great links for you in the description below. One is Make Money Matt, who teaches how to monetize your skills and abilities online better than almost anybody I've found. And the second one is Teachable, a platform where you can create your very own online courses. Check the links out in the description below. Aspect number 9 of requirements elicitation is use cases and scenarios. So you want to create use cases or scenarios with the customer's user base specific to them, not a generic discussion, that describes interactions between their users and the system. And this literally is user John Smith logs into system. User John Smith sees landing page. User John Smith notices which KPI isn't performing up to par and presses root cause analysis button for that KPI. It's like that. So use cases run through all the branches of potential decision making that a user would make within a system and what the results of those decisions are, so that your stakeholders can fully understand what's being built and the action items users can take to derive the expected results and achieve the expected business objectives. And then item number 10 for requirements elicitation, the one that I mentioned that might be a little bit of a surprise to you if you made it this far through the video, and that is protocols and compliance type things. So business analysts do have to have some degree of knowledge of the protocols within the particular industry of your stakeholder or some of the compliance concerns. And even if the customer doesn't tell them to you, you want to ask. And it can be in a generic way. Are there any compliance concerns with the data we're displaying here that we should take into account when we design a solution for this? I've had particular customers who, when using our coaching solution, where we had a checkbox to acknowledge that the coaching session had happened and that the information above seemed to accurately reflect that coaching session, some customers were part of union shops where that wasn't allowed. So we had to understand this requirement from the customer and change our standard offering such that that checkbox wasn't there. And literally, we just learned about this by asking, do you have any specific compliance or regulatory concerns we should know about? You don't have to know everything about that industry, but knowing a little bit helps, and knowing enough to ask the right questions helps. So these are the 10 aspects of requirements elicitation for a business analyst. Thanks again for joining me, and I can't wait to show you the next training video.